At a Senate Foreign Relations Committee hearing on October 7th, Senator Tammy Duckworth questioned Dr. Ely Ratner, principal at the Marathon Initiative, about the United States' role in Taiwan. She voiced concern over the Trump administration's retreat from U.S. influence in the region.
Previous administrations' efforts to mitigate the immediate PRC threat to Taiwan have worked. Yet the Trump administration is withdrawing U.S. influence at a time when we actually need to show the PRC we remain with our friends. Dr. Ratner, what specific steps should the United States take to demonstrate its long-term commitment to the Indo-Pacific and its allies? And what are immediate and key components that need to be addressed? And how can we reconcile those needs with this administration's retreat from our longstanding commitments?
Well, thank you, Senator Duckworth. I mean, clearly, I think we've heard from the chairman and ranking member, as well as the witnesses today, that we do need what we call a whole-of-government strategy that includes military operations and military support and assistance and being with our allies, as you suggest. But it's much more than that. We need our State Department rallying the international community in support of our allies. During the previous administration, when the PRC would engage in these kind of activities against the Philippines, there would be a chorus of over a dozen countries around the world speaking out about the dangers and the unacceptability of that behavior. So that's quite important. We need development assistance to be strengthening the resilience of our partners, helping with their economic development. We need the information part of this equation more clear to get the message out to the region, and we need to think about legal tactics to be pushing back on China as well. I will add one other thing, Senator Duckworth, in the context of your original question to Mr. Singleton about energy, which is that the PRC has its own energy vulnerabilities, and they've been doing a lot to try to patch those up, but they're not there yet. Their energy consumption is only increasing, and they have major vulnerabilities in that regard, just like they have major vulnerabilities politically, diplomatically, in the information space, with trade, finance, and economics. And we need to be much more strategic about how we're not just playing defense and trying to put Band-Aids on our own allies and partners, but rather thinking about how do we layer our strengths with our allies and partners against China's weaknesses and vulnerabilities to create opportunities of advantage to start pushing back on this. There are a number of places to do that. I don't think we've done that effectively yet, and we need to be willing to ask hard questions. It doesn't mean regime change. It doesn't mean we're going to take actions that are undermine the livelihood of the Chinese people, but there are very much clear things we can do to push back on the regime in Beijing that we haven't done yet, and we ought to change that.
For more congressional news, stay tuned to Congress Clips, and thanks for watching.